If all my wishes came true, then I would recreate unity in black on black crime and gang violence in my community. Instead of rap, I be speaking for politicians. Nowadays it's the same, just the industry that we fit in. I created my own brand, so no tag can design me. I post everywhere I go, so it ain't hard to find me. I'm cut from a different cloth, the streets outline me. I got friends fresh out of jail, I just got back from a while.
Yeah, what's poppin', man? Cali Smoov, JP Cali Smoov, author, songwriter, musician, battle MC, all that.
So where originally are you from?
I'm from Los Angeles, like the west side of Los Angeles. Went to high school in Chicago, went back and forth my whole life.
What was that like with the differences between Los Angeles and Chicago?
A lot of differences, man. Just the weather, the environment, the people, the hunger in the people, the vibes of the people. Like I was saying earlier, it's a lot less to do in Chicago. So when you involved in certain lifestyles, like it's just really savage, it's really cutthroat. You feel me? It's just like a lot of testosterone in that city. You feel me?
So there's a lot of gangs in Chicago.
Yeah,
it's
more than gangbanging. It's just a culture, a city thing, man. Like you could be a non-affiliate out there, they still carry themselves a certain way. You know, you just gotta be a certain way out there, man.
What was the most positive thing about Chicago that you picked up on or that you're gonna carry with you for the rest of your life?
Loyalty, man. I got some real friends out there that I love. I'll never take away from the experience because it made me who I am today. I had to see that and I had to grow up around that, you know, to appreciate. Like I came back to LA and I was like, I'm doing this rap shit. I got out of Chicago where there was little to no opportunity. You feel me? This was before YouTube and all that. You feel me? I was in Chicago grinding. When I first started rapping, I was like making my own CDs, 12 years old, 11 years old, making my own CDs and hitting Venice Beach and selling my CDs and out here doing every open mic in Santa Monica and Venice and doing all that on the bus and with my friends and everything. Then when I got to Chicago, it was so dry. It was real dry on that end with the open mics and the hip hop scene. And it was just a whole different scene, so I had to adapt to that. And I got back to LA and I was very appreciative. I was appreciative of the weather. I was appreciative of the music. It made me grind harder. It made me more focused. It made me work harder. Sometimes you gotta lose everything and get it back to appreciate it more. You feel me?
That's true. That's true. Cause I'm originally from Maryland, and when I meet people who have never, like they're from LA and anybody not never left, I tell them like it's a necessity to travel. Everyone should travel and leave where they're from. But it's like LA has its issues, but I'm glad I hear someone say they appreciate it. Cause there's a lot of shit you can do here that you can't do elsewhere.
Like I was telling you, I've been talking to youth in the juvenile halls for the last couple years, and that's a factor that I stretch when I'm talking to kids that live in Los Angeles. I stress the fact that I lived in Chicago where I didn't have the option, where the option wasn't there. I knew I was gonna get out and I'm gonna be right back to that block, and this is right. Like out here in Los Angeles, I know it seems so distant from some people, some youth's reality, but we actually do have the opportunity. We actually do have the means to do more with our life, whether it's community college, youth centers, you know, music. There's so much opportunity out here that we can pick up on, you know, and we gotta utilize that. We gotta utilize that. And the youth, like I always tell them, they're young enough to get out and make that change. And what the situation that they're in now will completely be a thing of the past and forgot about in a few years, you know. But yeah, man, I love the opportunity that we have in Los Angeles for sure.
What so you speak to the youth here in LA?
I was doing that with the Aim for the Heart organization at the Juvenile Hall, Central, Sylmar. Right now I'm working with the Juvenile Halls in Hawaii. I'm part Hawaiian. So I've been talking to the juvenile halls out there with my friend Ashley. She's a youth counselor, a guidance counselor for that facility. So we've been doing over the phone work, and I'm coming out there later on in the year. Same thing I tell them, they even have more opportunity, you know what I mean, to
Right.
step away from that life when they get out, you know. We definitely got to use our environments and use the tools that we have and make the best out of our situations, for sure.
Would you ever want to go back to Chicago and speak to them?
Yeah, eventually, for sure.
When we were talking about Chicago, you were breaking it down for me in a way, you know, I never really understood. And I'm trying to think how to say this. Like, do you think the city has the opportunity for it to change in a positive manner?
It's gonna need some serious youth outreach and effect, because right now, what's wrong with a lot of inner cities, in my opinion, is it's cool to be gangster. It's cool to be a thug. It's cool to be doing the things that these rappers are rapping about and not living, you feel me? So they're looking up to the wrong thing. Even in Los Angeles, in urban parts of Los Angeles and Chicago, you know, Atlanta, you know, they're looking up to the rappers glorifying wrong things, because these rappers don't know how powerful their message is. They don't know how powerful what they're saying into that microphone is, and it's actually projecting in these kids' lives. And I know you're asking me about if violence can change and if the world can change, not just resorted back to music, but I do believe that the two go hand in hand, that music is that powerful, that what we put out as artists is that powerful to affect cities and lives, and our music mentors these kids, you know?
Right.
We really got to watch what we put out, and I think that in Chicago, we're gonna need some different role models, and we're gonna need to make it cool to because I put it like this, like I was telling you earlier, like being gangster, being a gangbanger, you know, what it leads to. There's like I was saying, you can go to college and you can study a trade, you can study for a degree, eventually you're gonna get that degree, then eventually you're gonna get a job in that field. With gangbanging, there's nothing good that can ever come out of it from any way you put it. You join this gang, okay? Now you want to put in work. Now you want to be a factor in this gang. That's either gonna lead to you dead or in jail. And any real gangbanger will tell you this. Any real dude who's been around it will tell you this. They don't want their son doing it. They don't want their children doing it. You know what I mean? You know, and I don't want the world doing it. I look at everybody the same. I look at everybody as my people and my brothers, and you know, I just wish that I hope that we can move past it and never look at anybody of our race as an enemy. You know, I don't look at any black man, any brown man as my enemy. Off the rip, when I meet you, I would never look at you as my enemy. You know, that's the message that I want to portray and get out there to these streets, for sure.
What caught me attention is you put a post on Instagram saying you want to do an interview and discuss some certain topics. Do you want to go into some of those?
Well, that was the main one. You know, I wanted to talk about how the steps towards ending violence in our community. You feel me? And I think that's definitely one. I think artists have to take a step forward. I think rappers have to take a stand. I think political figures have to take a stand. And we have to put something different out there. You feel me? And I think that is going to have the greatest effect with the urban community. Definitely, I want to raise awareness on volcano that's going off on the Big Island to the homes in Puna, Hawaii. that are suffering. You feel me? A lot of people are unaware of the situation going on out there, man. Pray for Hawaii. Definitely. A couple topics we had to get off my chest. I made that post because I was just zoning in on stuff that's going on in the world, and like I was telling you, like there's people that talk about it and there's people that do it, you feel me? And I always want to be a doer because I have these thoughts, and I've been having my toy drive for this is going to be my 3rd year doing it. We have a free show.
When's that happening?
Yes, it's going on. My boy Conclusion inspired me to do it like 3 years ago. But we basically just rent out a venue, invite all the fans through, all the supporters through, and in order to get in, you got to give a toy instead of money. And then I take the toys. Last year, I took the toys to the group home that I went to as a child. You feel me? And those kids were super happy. They were super happy to be involved. I just wrote this book, man, called Untold, Unheard, and Unwritten. It's based on emotional literacy through hip hop. You know, just trying to be a doer, man. So when I made that post, I had a lot of thoughts, I had a lot of stuff I wanted to get off my chest, and I felt like it could be more getting it off with you, you know, translating it to the internet rather than just staying in my head, you feel me?
Right. It I mean, based off everything we talked about off and on camera, I think God has really made you who you are for a reason, because you've seen the world and you understand a lot of different point of views, and I think like that's good, because it's like if you look at the current president now, like he might be wealthy, he might be from New York City, but I think he only has one mindset.
Definitely.
And if you look at Obama, he said in an interview once his family reunions were like what do you say, like a world leaders like meet or something, because he had so many different walks of life in his family.
Yeah.
And I think that's why Obama could understand, like, hey, you know, everyone has that cousin who like sells weed, and Obama was like, hey, my cousin sells weed, but he doesn't need to be in prison for this long and this. If we did this and this for him, he wouldn't do this, or he would. Well, we was just an example, but like I think Obama really understood the different walks of life and what needs to be done to change things, because it's like nowadays, in my eyes, it's like the police are getting crazier. And it's like people just think like, oh, the police are perfect or they don't do this. Like, I'm white, and like the way the police have treated me, I'm walking down the street, they say, where's the meth? I said, well, what the hell would I know about meth? I've never seen it in my life. Well, you're skinny. Well, that don't mean I do meth. Like, what the fuck? And if they treat me like that, imagine if they seen...
And the hundreds and thousands of stories just like yours, you know what I mean?
And I got off easy, because it's like, when people hear me say this, they think like, oh, you hate police. Well, if I hate anyone, then I don't believe in God. So I don't hate no one. But can things change? Yeah. And it's like, if people are here to protect and serve us, like, no matter who you are, like, it's not good to live in a state of paranoia. Right. And if the police are paranoid and the people in the community are paranoid, it's no wonder there's going to be a clash. Like, people are just going to be fucking like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's like these cops are paranoid. Dude, a cop told me once, every day I leave my house, I have a target on my back.
Like, come on, man. That's how he's thinking. That's his mentality. That's a lot of these cops' mentality, man. They're genuinely scared of us, you know? Without that badge, they wouldn't even look our way, you know? And I think cops are like the kids that got bullied in middle school, and then you let them be the line leader for that week, and they want to run it over everybody's face. Like, I'm in front of the line. You gave a little dude that ain't got no heart a position of power and a gun. Whoa. Now he's running around the streets. I mean, and I've met some cool cops.
Right.
But, like, the bad outweighs the good by a large margin. You feel me? Like, the bad cops that I've met, you know, and the experiences that I've had with law enforcement have definitely, majority have been negative, you feel me? But man, we need a system to police, man. We need to figure out how we can police, because like they're beating people and they're getting paid vacations. They're slapping the shit out of people and getting paid vacations.
Murdering.
Murder.
just like that. And that's America's in an interesting time right now. Some of it scares me, but some of it I just think like obviously everything's happening for a reason, so there's got to be some good that can come out of this. But I feel like you can think there's going to be good, but now we're at a point like we're talking. You have to make that good. Like talking will get you somewhere, but you have to back it up. You know, whether it's doing the toy drives, whether it's speaking to the youth, because it's like I was talking to a friend of mine the other day, and he was talking about the rapper Ice-T, and he was like, man, Ice-T don't do shit for the hood. I'm like, dog, YouTube that cat speaking in prisons. Like, fucking, what is he supposed to be out there on Crenshaw Boulevard handing out money?
That's what I mean about being a doer.
You know what I mean? Like,
because he's not tweeting about it every day.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? It's not in the public eye. Like, that's what matters the most. You feel me? And I think the point of this whole interview is because I want to inspire rappers and other people in positions of power to do more for the community, do something great and be great with it. You feel me? And that is what's cool. That's what's fly to me. You feel me? That's what's happening to me. You feel me? We just started our store. We collabed with another black-owned business called Rothstein LA. They're on 43rd and Crenshaw. They've been there for a minute. They gave us a rack. The clothing line is called Black Sheep Club. This is one of my designs right here. It's a Negro League jersey. Authentic, man. Make sure you stop through there, grab some of the clothes, support your people, man, because we're doing it from ground up, man, trying to motivate others to do the same. If you got a book that you want to write that shit, man. If you got some clothes you want to design, do that shit, man. Be a doer and not a talker, man. I try to tackle everything that I think about, that I want to do. I try to dive head first into it so I can test the waters, man, because some people talk about things and never get around to it, man. I just did my first stand-up, you know what I mean? Like, I just want to do everything that I put my mind to, and I believe that if everybody lived like that, we would be in a much happier place, in a much happier world and society, you feel me? And that's my goal as an artist and as an entertainer, to inspire and motivate others. Of course, enjoy my work when you have it, but definitely let it motivate you. Definitely let my work ethic, you know, shine and remember me for that. Let that motivate you, you feel me? Because I'm not doing it for no reason. I put a lot of hard work, blood, sweat, and tears into my craft. A lot. Years and years and years into it, you feel me? And the smiles that I get and the handshakes that I get when people see me and greet me, that rock with me, it's enough for me. I like that, man. That feeling lets me know that I'm working hard and that we doing that, man. You know, the clothing popping, man. Music popping right now. iTunes, Spotify, the book popping, man. We working full effect, man.
It's that's the last question I'll ask. If there's anyone you could collaborate with, whether it could be an actor, a business owner, an activist, a rapper, whoever, if there's anyone you could collaborate, like want to work with on anything, who would it be?
Like, I would say Prince, rest in peace. And alive, I would say Nipsey Hussle. I look up to Nipsey, his music, his craft. More so, like, one of my favorite parts about Tupac is his interviews. That's one of my favorite parts of his whole career. And I can say the same about Nipsey. I watch Nipsey's interviews, and it's like, get the same knowledge from a college lecture.
Right.
I feel like I'm hearing a college lecture from one of my peers who've been through what I've been through. And he's, like you said earlier, you know, he's a black business owner, just like I am, you feel me? I wouldn't have started my clothing line if it wasn't for Nip. Like, that motivation pushed me, him doing the Fat Burger thing, just being that entrepreneur that he is, pushed me to be the entrepreneur I am, pushed me to write the book, push the clothing line, you know. It pushed me to do a lot of those things, so definitely Nip would be somebody I collaborate with business-wise. I would just like to sit down with him and chop it up with him one day, you feel me?
Speaking of Nipsey Hussle, I do want to add, I think Nipsey and this one cat he grew up with, I think the dude he grew up with from over there, the neighborhood, they just opened up like a center for entrepreneurs over there in Nipsey's neighborhood. I think it's called like Vector 90 or something. So everyone who watches this, if you're over there, just Google it, go to the website.
The Doer, I didn't even know that.
And really?
That's the dude I rock with, man. I'm a big fan of him.
So yeah, so he said he wanted to put the center there to like help the kids grow, and one day when you deal with the corporate world, or you start a business, or you do stuff like that.
Yeah, which is very, very.
You know how to do it.
On the real, that's so helpful, yo. When I was doing it, I went to community college for like a few months, and the business class was so helpful, yo. And I'm getting my real estate license right now. I'm on my last test, but that information was so helpful. As I'm getting this real estate license, I've been thinking like, damn, why haven't we learned this in school?
Yeah, I know, right?
Like, I didn't know I could buy a house. You know what I mean?
Yeah, they don't teach you about credit. They don't teach you about nothing.
Hundreds of thousands of dollars to buy a house.
Right.
But reality, you can do this, and this information that these kids need to be learning. We need to have these classes in school, man. We need to have a business class, economics, real estate, trades and shit that we can benefit from later on in life. You feel me?
Is there anything else you want to add? Last thing.
The first meal out now. Narration from Big Snoop Dogg Dizzle. Me and Edie Amin got a joint coming out crazy. The rap battle scene going up right now. You know who the champ is? Oh man, you know who the champ is? Let us know. Battle rap champion, the people's champion. Make sure you check out the battles. All for entertainment, man. Comedy scene. Yeah, doing it big, man. JP Cali Smoov, man. Love it.
Gotta see life as a blessing. Through all the pain I sustain, I gotta understand it's a lesson. All the years I put in my craft, I know it takes an investment. Misled by my idols, played a part in my depression. But now there's kids overseas being motivated by my message. I just pray my baby brother get to learn from all my lessons. Life crazy. I saw guns since a baby. I was 16 trying to recreate the 80s. I realize I'm the only one that can ruin me. Realizing our effect can create unity or eulogies. At age 5, the struggle was nothing new to me. Born in poverty, now I tell rappers to Google me. A deep soul. Gotta understand the good of me. I'm Beethoven. If the world sees past the hood of me, in and out the system.